Hello and welcome back to round 2 back 9 coverage of the 2023 Music City Open presented by Lone Star Disc. Stop 4 of 15 on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. I'm Jeremy Koling, joined by Paul Ulibarri, BigBarri commentary, bringing you all the action from the second half of this tournament.
Yeah, now we're on the back 9 of the second round, and we got a nice little card for you. We got some guys doing okay. One guy doing really well, and that's Ezra Aderhold, who's 10 under. He's 3 under on the round with a bogey. Without that, he'd be looking real good. We got some struggles, and then Simon, just no bogeys, but 1 bird. I mean, that's okay, I guess.
Sure. The scores are all pretty tight, as you'd imagine. Chris Dickerson off to a hot start in the front 9, getting to 13 under. And, that's through 11 holes, I believe.
Yeah.
But still, his front 9 was also good. On to hole 10, par 3, 354 feet. Very straight. There is that one gap that you have to hit about halfway through the hole. Basket's elevated. Green incredibly muddy. Actually, you're not going to get very much ground play up by the pin. Backhand turnover coming for Simon. Did not get enough angle out of the hand. Actually, pretty fortunate forward kick.
Yeah.
And he's actually going to be in C2, maybe? Deep C2? Maybe just outside? And look at this thing trying to bend. Ezra finding himself at the edge of C1.
Good kick, yeah, off that tree there. And it looks like he's trying to keep the disc dry, which means it must be sprinkling.
It's about to start sprinkling. I think it started coming in right around this time, if not hole 11. So actually right here, Luke didn't know the rules of this creek. It's not out of bounds. And he was giving himself casual relief back as if it were out of bounds. And I believe James called him out on it and said, hey, man, it's actually safe. Don't take an extra stroke here, which that would actually be essentially be calling that an unplayable lie by taking it that far back.
I think he thought it was casual, and he got the rule wrong. That you get, I think a lot of people think, and this is good for everybody, that you get the 15 feet behind.
Yeah, the 5 meters. It's the first playable lie.
Yep, first playable lie, and I think that's what happened. I don't think he would make a mistake like that, not seeing white stakes and then just
that makes sense. Well, either way, the approach left some to be desired. He's going to be about 30 feet away.
Yeah,
and Simon out there 80 feet away gives it a little Spikeheiser bid. Proctor light on his feet, which is what you have to be in this.
Oh, he stepped right on that disc. Got him. Solid.
Ezra for birdie and another solid birdie stroke. Just that one blemish on 9, and everything else has looked pretty smooth sailing for Ezra so far.
His putt looks good.
It's really good. And one of the things I've noticed about his putt is he's actually brought some pace off of it. He had a very high for Luke, and he will be taking a bogey. I don't think that Ezra was ever necessarily a not good putter. I don't think that I would ever say that it's been like a detriment to his game, but I think that his pace by slowing it down a little bit has given him some more control.
Well, what happens when you have a lot of pace, like you're saying, is I don't think he was ever a bad putter either, but I think he was a streaky putter.
Yes.
And that's what happens when you see that fast putt for the most part.
Big spin rate.
Yeah, what's really happening here is we're getting spoiled by spin putters who are the best to ever do it. Mm-hmm. And so like a Gannon who has a fast putt like that, that's something normal people around the world can't control a speed like that. He can. We're spoiled. We get to see him do that. Mm-hmm. And Ezra, the same thing, but he, like you said, maybe he's found more control.
Some adjustments,
yeah, with slowing it down. If I was Gannon, I'd speed it up.
It's an interesting thing when you're talking about the physique of Ezra, because there's just the obvious thing there where he looks different than the other players on tour. And getting power is one thing, but how do you harness that power? As he gets through the trees, a good break there. He's going to have about 25 feet for the birdie. Seems like there might be something to like why we don't have too many traditional strong athletes, as James puts it in Bullseye. Is that a thing in the future, or is that just kind of a one-off with Ezra? I don't know.
I don't think there's just a lot of people in general that play the game as far as like athletes go.
Yep.
As far as like your traditional athlete, because like a traditional athlete, as Simon throws a sidearm and gets the
these guys are
luckiest
getting
break.
through
Unbelievable.
on all sides. There's one gap in the middle, and no one's hit it yet.
But it's
I guess James did.
okay. This is getting up there too. My thought is with that is when you're, let's just compare it to a baseball player as he lines this one up, and if he is true to form, that's pretty good.
Yep.
A baseball player doesn't get up and just go to the gym because he wants to. He's has
Working
to.
on yeah, right.
You know, like his coaches and everybody are saying, okay, it's gym day, guys. It's time to work out. And then they get really big. Oh, Luke.
Dang it.
Ezra, that's on himself to do it. And so that's a rare thing in a human being, period.
Mm-hmm.
It's helpful to have people push you, like coaches, because of that. Because otherwise...
Most people just aren't determined enough to do it on their own.
Yeah, it's somebody to keep you accountable. So once the sport gets bigger and we get coaches and blah, 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 I think we'll find more big,
Yeah. It'll be
long thought.
It'll be interesting to see. That was the second easiest hole in the course. And we had 3 birdies and a misconnection on the green for Luke. Trending in the opposite direction that you'd like to go right now. Luke needs to stable himself out here. Right the ship, as Nate would say. Hole 12, par 4, 618 feet. Uphill pretty much the whole way. And then at the very end, it just gets around this corner very tight. And then down this little bowl here. Tee shot is going to kind of put you in a bit of a straitjacket, because if you miss your line at all, you're going to be scrambling. Got to get left, though. Very important. Get through this gap. Get high and left. Big trouble.
Yeah.
But fortunately, it rolls back to the middle. So he's going to have...
break, really.
Yep. He's going to have an opportunity to throw that same shot again and just get back into position and now just play for the par.
Yeah, I mean, usually you hit one of those, you kick left and right. It's tough to get into position.
Yep. James with a perfect tee shot. Simon, early release, and he kind of gets away with it.
Yeah, I mean, same as lands in a decent spot. Oh, that's a tough one to miss, guys. Especially today.
Yeah.
It's a little raining on them. The grip is a little different. It's not your normal texture that you like.
Yeah, it's definitely drizzling now.
Ooh, that was tight, too.
Ezra's going to get away with it, though, and that's pretty decent. He's going to be in a pretty familiar spot. That's where I'm sure a lot of his practice shots were landing. And is Simon lining up a roller or just a big turnover? Actually, he's getting aggressive with the turnover, and this could be dangerous if it doesn't start hyzering out. Oh, it does. Oh, wow.
That's as good as you could do, I think, from there, unless you did go roller.
That was a really good shot.
That's also a good shot there. That's a lot of distance he bit off from
Yeah, that should be a pretty routine up and down. Now, James, the only good tee shot of the group, an opportunity to get the birdie, and he just throws it pretty much away inside early. That is a very sawed-off second shot. Maybe even fortunate that he didn't go out of bounds in that little tiny pond back there. That disc is just so overstable.
Yeah. Great save, though, if he can make that.
Those zone OSs should just have a stamp on the top of them, just say "not for you." Like, just it should be for the people that know it's for them and then not for anyone else.
Yeah.
They're just so overstable. Simon, this would be a huge birdie pickup. What a great effort.
That would have been an amazing save from back there.
Essentially one of the first available tree hits to birdie.
Look at this.
Yeah.
That's how thick it is over there. He's
got to throw a flick roller out.
Pretty
That's
good.
why you cannot come up short on this approach. Now this 4 par. Solid.
It's a great putt.
Super solid. It's not that long, but it's not even in the length that shows us how quality that is. It's the pace, the height, honestly the stance in which he took. I mean, it's just everything is very stable. It looks repeatable. It looks confident.
Yeah.
To me, that's just those are the things that make up somebody who can just do it over and over and over again. So 4 pars in 4 unique ways. Not the hardest hole. These guys are gonna want to have those tee shots back, and James is gonna wish he had that second shot back, but no one penalized too bad by it.
Why disc golf?
It's the people.
It's fun.
It's the lucky shots.
It's the feeling.
So come out.
Grab a disc.
Or 2, and let it fly with Lone Star Disc.
Hole 13, par 4, 616 feet.
How far?
616 feet.
Wow.
Uphill off the tee. Basically 2 ways to play this hole. Either try to find some sort of way to manipulate that tight gap, which is a very awkward hyzer flip for a right-hand backhand player off the tee, or just do what Simon's gonna do and just go over the top. Or Ezra. I'm sure these guys are lining up the big, high, over-the-top shot. Yeah. And this should get these guys way down the fairway. This is huge.
Jeez.
That's gonna be 250, maybe 260 to the pin from there. But really, the only thing that's in the way is that big tree down there by the green.
Those just are zooming.
Yeah, James Proctor. That is ideal tee shot. Anything through that gap is great. I think this tee, actually, I was looking at it because I was wondering if they wanted players to do the over-the-top shot, if they even thought that was what players would be going for. If so, if they brought this tee back about 15 to 20 feet, the angle for this over-the-top shot would be a lot dicier. And I wondered if we see everyone try to go for it. Might entice players to try to go up that fairway.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what they wanted, so, that's what they're getting. This is looking pretty good from back there for Luke. And he gets through. Wow. Fortunate. That's going to be 35 feet just outside the circle.
Seems like he's been a little... Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it's not good.
That's caused from, I think, the elements.
Were you saying something about Luke's game?
Man, lost my thought. What was it, Luke? Okay, yeah.
Seems like he's kind of, and then...
Oh, been pulling his sidearms today.
Luke, yeah, a little bit Yankee on him a bit.
How do you fix that mid-round? You're sidearm king. Jeez, that is...
There's just as Simon as it gets right there. Just the floatiest...
It's hot, dude.
That's hot. That's hot. How do you fix that? I mean... Gosh, I mean, if it's a grip issue at this point in the round, there's no way to fix it. I mean, it's just there's something about the conditions. Done. Yeah, I mean, there's that. You fix it by making putts. But yeah,
do you trust that you're gonna keep making that mistake and just aim
practice.
And then aim farther right and then just throw a bad one on purposely good?
If you're yanking, I don't think that I'm not good enough to say that if I'm yanking, I'm gonna start trusting my aiming point based on the idea that I might yank again. Like, I'm just going to keep going to what I think I know.
Gotcha.
As James comes up short for his birdie, But I mean, that's why we practice. You try to get that muscle memory down and get that feel right, and eventually things will start clicking for you.
How many times have you practiced in a slippery, wet rain? Practice, like went out and like, all right, gaining some on the field.
Oh, it's the only time I practice.
Cool.
No one does. I mean, I used to. I couldn't stand when my friends wouldn't join me to play disc golf outside when it was raining or snowing. I was like, what is wrong with you guys? Now, if it's not 72 degrees and sunny, I'm like, I don't know, man. I gotta beat this thing. Hole 14 is a par 3. 345 feet. Let's call it what it is. It's downhill and it's not quite 375. You're not going to see anyone go down this nifty little drone line. That is just for drones only. This is going to be a forehand flex for all these guys, I'd imagine.
I went down there.
You tried it? You tried the straight one?
Yeah.
Simon going to force Anheuser. This is good width. And
how's the stability?
Yeah, it does. That's just perfect. Absolutely perfect. He doesn't know it yet. I know he knows that it's good, but he doesn't know it's bullseye.
Let's see. Zoom. Anheuser.
So we're showing a replay here. Normally we give these things follow flights, but you can't see the tee from here, and you can't see the basket from there. So there's no real line to draw. You just use your imagination. It was perfect. Luke, yeah, there's the case of the Yankees again. The line was decent. It's just the height was just all off. Ezra really forcing that thing out there, but it's got good height. That's gonna, yeah, right at circle's edge.
Nice.
Hands up.
He didn't like it. Yep.
And James, look at that early force over. But if it's stable enough, it's gonna work. Yeah, just caught the back edge. This is kind of a tricky little approach.
For real.
It does very well with that, but I mean, you're not practicing that shot in practice. That is just all creativity and good execution.
Yeah, you're not gonna be practicing that. You're gonna be eating that thing.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta eat something.
Just calm it down,
Yeah.
bud. That looks good.
He's really good.
In control. 13 under. That's in control.
Yeah, and you look at the top of the screen, Chris Dickerson in first place right now through 14 holes. He is 14 under. So Ezra now just one back of that pace set. And Chris was only one back going into this round, but I believe we had 3 full cards all within.
Yeah.
Going into the 4th card,
All
I think
at 6 under.
even 4 cards I think were out there that were within 1 stroke of the lead. So, yeah, no surprise that someone out there other than this card is leading the tournament, but right now it's only by 1 shot over Aderhold as he's continuing to get birdies. Look at that. You got Anthony Barella, Calvin Heimberg, just a whole bunch of names that we're just getting so familiar with this season. As this tournament comes to an end, tomorrow we'll be a quarter of the way through the season. Actually, more than a quarter of the way through the season already, which is kind of crazy to think. Walk us through hole 15.
Well, it's the lucky hole. It's hole 15, 770.
The 777.
Yep.
Okay.
R4. Toughest hole.
Yeah.
It might be the scariest. It's not the toughest. It's the scariest for sure. You're out of bounds right the whole way. So if this doesn't come back in bounds somehow, which it is dropping kind of. Oh, he's good.
It gets through. That
doesn't-
cluster of trees is right in the perfect landing zone.
Yeah, yeah. If you hang it out too wide and you don't come in, you can take a big score. Left is not out of bounds, just really thick, and then it follows that OB line all the way to the pin, and it's a really tied up shot.
Yeah, if any of our audience was watching live coverage as Ezra just barely sneaks around. I mean, a lot of times when the ground is soft like that, that hyzer will actually jump backwards. Fortunately for Ezra, it does move just enough left, and Luke is just, he's losing strokes right now.
Yeah,
It's going to be another OB, and that's OB early. But if you were watching live coverage, you saw Austin Turner play this hole in a very strange way. as James, he gets the fortunate skip, and he is in bounds.
Wow.
But back to Austin, he actually played a forced anhyzer as a lefty over to the left side of this big wall of trees. And that just barely hangs on for Luke, stays in bounds. From there, he threw a hyzer pitch to the pin, made a 35-foot putt, and got birdie. But everyone was confused because they're like, well, what are you doing on that side of the tree line? Well, it's all in bounds over there.
Yeah.
It actually made, I think, this card talk about, hey, do we want to try going over there?
Look at this shot. Get the skip.
Yeah, that is just
Picture perfect.
as well as you can play this hole.
Well, when it's coming into, there's nothing like out of control. It's not fast coming into the green, and maybe it could go OB or something. He's taking this out over this.
That's very dangerous. And, the Plinko is just in favor of these guys right now. This is, especially Ezra. I mean, he was living dangerously on both shots. Now he's rewarded with a long look for the birdie.
But Simon's just, there was nothing bad about it. It was all good.
It's when I think about when Macbeth, when he's in the zone, all of his shots just, the result before it has even left his hand. And those kind of the same way there for Simon, just perfect nose angle, perfect gap hit, perfect distance control, all of it. Check, check, check.
Can he get it?
That would have been a sneaky little birdie.
Yeah, it was close to being a 9, and he almost got a birdie.
It's when you're living right.
I mean, if he doesn't come back in bounds, and then he takes it out wide, and he doesn't come back in bounds.
Yeah.
Looking at
well, he wouldn't have progressed much off his second shot, too, because that was OB a long ways. But in the end, it is just a par.
Pretty good par or bogey from Luke being so far back there.
Yeah, and I mean, and his third shot was very close to going out of bounds a second time. So you're right, not a bad bogey to take. A bogey that can creep on you very quickly. And Simon, after just one birdie on the front 9, he is now all of a sudden 5 under, putting some good stuff together, still bogey free through the event. Onto the island hole. Very exciting, got a perfect backdrop, just set up for a prime ace. Any aces not any aces, the first ace of the tournament on this hole will be receiving a Gibson guitar. Pretty cool little bounty. Also, another round, Charlotte Disc Golf Shop is giving $100 to a charity of the player who aces choice for anyone who aces this hole. So there are a couple bounties on the line.
Nobody wants to ace it, though, except for Simon.
Simon's been known to get a few aces.
He's always hunting. That's pretty good.
Gives a good shot.
Are you thinking ace on this?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're thinking, it's a free ace, right?
Yeah, there's no way to. It's a free ace.
This looks good.
The slight influence of the left to right, just barely.
Okay.
So it is. I think hanging out that forehand's nice because it's helped push back in. And it's not too bad for the backhand hyzer either because it kind of stalls it and drops it.
Oh, that's good.
But James Conrad, I hear, did chain out for the ace in round 1. And I mean, if there's a James Conrad type ace on any course, it would be on this hole right here on this course.
Or it's a Luke Humphries type ace right here.
Is that in the base?
I don't know.
Where is it? Just okay. I can't quite see it. Either way, 4 pretty decent tee shots there, and that was unexpected.
And that's his first miss.
Also,
and it was awful.
It wasn't even close. I mean, that is perplexing.
I think that's a nervy miss. I think that's like knowing the situation and he just missed.
Yep. Yeah, that's not stepping up and doing your routine. There's some other influential factors going on there for sure. James doing his best impression of someone who wants the miss from that close, but not quite doing it. Stepping up, taking absolutely no time, almost rushed it.
Oh, this guy off the edge of the tee pad.
Well, lives on the edge. That's kind of his life motto.
Man, Chris just kind of pulling away.
He just keeps putting the pedal to the metal. I mean, if you're watching his round on live, you've just seen someone who's just throwing the disc well, making jump putts, taking care of the easy stuff, not really putting himself in position to take bogey. So far, neither has Simon Lizotte, and that is pretty awesome. Hole 17, par 3, 355, blind off the tee. But it's pretty easy to line it up. Just kind of look at that cedar out in the back, just in line with the second one, the middle one of those 3 cedars right by the green.
Looks a bit high.
And Simon's first bogey could be coming here on hole 17. That is OB outside C1.
Downhiller too.
The way Simon's been throwing the forehand, I'm just so shocked to see him go big high spike hyzer. I mean, just go back to hole 9. The angle, the manipulation of the disc, the control, the power, all of it. All those things you need here. And just surprised to see him abandon that right now.
Yankees got him again.
Just out of touch. Not quite feeling it right now. Luke has a couple options. I think he's going to advance down the fairway, but you could also re-tee. I mean, I'm sure you're not practicing that shot from up the fairway very much, but...
Judging by the shot that he out of bounds.
Oh, my goodness.
That he just threw, I'm guessing you're not going to want to re-tee.
I feel that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he does elect to go up here, but I mean, this is kind of tricky. Let's see what he does. He goes a big high and sticks it inbounds. Okay, so he'll have that for bogey.
Seems to me like it's been the turnover, the forced over turnover that's been getting him, not the highs.
Yeah, right.
All right, Simon.
50 feet to keep bogey free going and not a chance. But like he said, he's got it out of the way now, so you don't have to worry about bogey free anymore. Now he can play loose and free and get all the rest of the birdies. And Ezra low there, so he is leaving 3 strokes on the course here on 16, 17 with the short miss putt and the bogey on 17.
Luke needs to make this.
And he does.
Yeah.
One over on the round. 1 hole left to get it back to even for the round. And James just taking care of business here. That brings him to 9 under.
James having a really good back nine. Those shoes are probably nice a little bit ago.
Yeah. And that bogey kind of evens out our card a little bit more. There was a time there where Ezra was really separating himself, but back to 12 under, going into the final hole of Chase or Moving Day Saturday. Par 4, 723 feet, just like hole 2. Uphill the whole way. This is just a big distance rip. I mean, yes, there's a landing zone. You can see it there suggested, but it really is just, if you get past those 4 early trees, anywhere you get up there, you can find a way to scramble. So these guys are just looking to get 500 feet. I think James has done a great job.
Yeah, that's pummeled. That's in the booster zone for sure.
Yeah, I think that's every bit of 500.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going uphill, too. I mean, these guys are probably landing their disc 20 feet higher than where they're standing.
Yeah, let's see if Simon gets this over. If it does, we'll get a good indication of where James's is. Yeah. So, yeah, it's up there, 500.
Yeah, if you're within 30 feet of Simon on a pure power rip, then you are...
flipped?
Yeah. You're a certified booster. Look at Luke boosting one.
No.
Yeah, all right. Pretty boosty, but
Yeah, I need.
You're not a certified booster.
No. You're not getting that badge, buddy.
No. This guy, yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
I
That's
don't
a
care
drop.
what happens right here, right now. It doesn't matter to me at all.
He didn't really
Certified boost mania. Okay.
Nope.
Yes.
Now let's see what he does here.
Doesn't matter. He's got the badge. He's the one handing the badges out, Paul. I don't.
That's a booster. This is a certified boost mania.
Oh, spikes it in. Oh my goodness, what
Over
a
those
shot.
trees. That's hilarious. Up the hill.
Yeah, officer, you're getting a speeding ticket for that one. That was insane power. Going up the hill, slippery slope, and going hyzer too. That was a big shot.
Another pull job there.
Yeah. And Luke will not get back to even. I can't imagine. Unless he throws that one in. That would be
Could.
That would be a sweet way
He
to finish
does
the
have
round.
soft little sidearms. This guy does not have the soft sidearm. He has the power. Almost made it for
wow.
2 of them. That'd be a cool 2.
Yeah.
It's on a high rise. Is that too smooth? Oh. Hit all kinds of things there.
So Luke,
Oh, he's actually putting it.
yep. He's got that long length. He can give nice little spinny floaters. Yeah, actually pretty solid effort.
Yeah.
But it will be a 1 over total for Luke today, 6 under total for the event. And Simon gets that one in, and that's going to bring him to 12 under. A solid back 9, sprinkling just the one blemish on 17. But other than that, really turned around a very boring front 9 into something pretty good. I mean, 12 under is in contention, no doubt.
I mean, 7th place as we sit. Settle out of court for that, for sure. No arguments. Me.
Yeah. And James, he's going to finish his round at 10 under total. And this to secure Ezra a 13 under.
Good little pop in there after the bogey on the previous hole.
Good bounce back for sure. Yep, and he had 2 bounce backs. He bogeyed hole 9, came back with a nice birdie on 10, bogeyed 17, and finished with a birdie on 18. So well done for Ezra to minimize the mistakes and shoot a very solid round. Just that one putting error that we really saw in 16. Other than that, his putt looked phenomenal today. He looked under control. And Simon just really making good moves here on the back 9, but they're all chasing the 10 under course record mark set by Chris Dickerson on moving day, jumping him up to a 2-shot lead over Anthony Brella and 3 over Annenberg and Ezra Aderhold. And that will be our final lead card going into Championship Sunday. Take a look at that. So many players right there in the mix. 6 strokes is a lot to catch a guy who seems like a runaway favorite in his home state and multiple-time champion of the Music City Open. But
Yeah, you just go down this leaderboard and it's just nice. It's just nice all the way down there. We got a lot of talent here. Tomorrow's going to be a nice day to watch some disc golf, so make sure you check it out.
We've got the hottest player on the planet on chase card, so they're going to have to look out for Calvin Heimberg. He's going to be out there doing some things. And also, Ricky Wysocki, folks, he's back in the mix. His wrist's feeling better. I mean, don't forget that name. My gosh. Scary. We're going to have a lot of action happen on this final day. Can't wait to bring you all the calls here, JomezPro. Tune in tomorrow. We'll bring you all the action there.
Thank you to the Founders Club.
Oh, yeah.
We appreciate you.